Good evening, everybody. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I have the house to myself now for the first time in a while. And it's also the season of the lion. I'm a Leo, a 4 times Leo, and we're coming up to the Lion's Gate portal on August the 8th, which is an astrologically auspicious date for manifestation. So now another reason why I wanted to do a video is recently I've had some not insignificant health challenges, and without going too much into it and making it all about that and all about me, which it isn't, but it's what has helped inspire this, because I do believe that with, as with all things in life, perhaps especially when it comes to health, which is the most precious thing of all, as anybody who's ever suffered ill health will tell you, and hopefully those who have perfect health appreciate that, that we've got to approach it from multiple angles. I do believe that there's a spiritual root to many illnesses. Not only that, I think it's more complicated than that. Obviously, you've got your lifestyle factors, your genetics, all these things come into it. But I suppose ultimately what I'm getting around to is that I think there are multiple ways that we can and should tackle physical ailments, from very minor ailments, whatever it might be, to the most serious. And when I kind of say multiple ways, that they can and might range from the medical, established medical, to the homeopathic, to meditation, prayer, both for ourselves and on behalf of others. And the upshot is when looking at my medical challenges, both now and in the past, I've tried to bear in mind the emetic maxim, which is physician, heal thyself. For those of us who are practicing in any shape or form, or on an emetic or spiritual road, this will always come up, whether it's applied to emotional or psychological matters that we have to work through and heal within ourselves, or if indeed it applies to serious medical conditions. We might not necessarily be able to heal ourselves by ourselves, but I think it's very important to try, if only for the mental strength that's required for tackling illnesses and diseases. There was the Princess of Wales said, "People who are ill have good and bad days." So I'm not suggesting that people who are suffering from terrible diseases should put themselves under immense pressure to also do spiritual praxis. But what I am saying is that if you feel up to it, and even if you can perhaps push yourself a little bit to do some spiritual work and help come to grips with the problem and draw some light from the darkness, draw the silver lining from the cloud, by accomplishing spiritual work that is positive for you, for your personal development, even if you're suffering and going through trials in other ways. So, and then for me personally, there are many ways I would deal with these issues, medical issues, or spiritual, or psychological, or emotional. Prayer is the number one. I would enlist trusted friends, priests, prayer circles, the help of those, to build up a kind of network of prayerful support around myself, to not be afraid or too proud to ask for help from those around me. Also recourse to the saints, the angels, as they appeal to you. For me personally, I on this instance, I was drawn to think about the child saint Carlos Acutis, as well as Padre Pio and John Paul II, and the guardian angels that I would typically try to commune with in any kind of regular prayer or meditation. As well as this, One good thing about this challenge coming up in my life, which began in March, is that it made me intensify some of my practice that I've been doing in groups, especially the company of the Inn Abbey with the help of my brothers and sisters there. We've been working through the Splendor Solis text, an alchemical text, which has been aligned with the astrology and the star signs and the planets. As I've already mentioned, we're now in the time of Leo. Now, what I found as I was going through Splendor Solis, which I won't go into too much now because it's a whole thing in its own right, very complicated. But I've also been in tandem working through the ascension exercises of Olive Pixley. Now, I've been sharing Olive Pixley's exercises very frequently on this channel because I do think she's a relatively undiscovered gem. And even though she liked to hide her own light under a bushel, I don't believe she deserves to be under a bushel because she really has produced some extraordinary spiritual writing. And her ascension exercises are particularly well suited if you are going through physical challenges because, as the name suggests, the ascension exercises are geared towards the rectification of the physical body and the spiritual body as part of that, all the subtle bodies. Now, I'm not going to go through all of those ascension exercises either because that's something in its own right and you can't rush those ascension exercises. You really need to digest and absorb them in their own time, as she points out several times in the work. But part of the ascension exercises, as those of you who are familiar with Olive Pixley's work will know, involve a form of, I guess you could call it colour therapy. Now, I've not read Goethe's masterwork on colour therapy, but I guess the name is what it is. You're applying colour in a therapeutic way, which Olive Pixley and others do in the course of her meditations. And also, as I've said before, she applies the colours to the chakras in a way which is not the usual way that we've been taught. Most people who do spiritual work with chakras are taught that you go through the rainbow, starting with red at the base chakra and working up through the rainbow to ultraviolet at the top. Now, I don't do that. I'm not saying it's wrong, but for various reasons I've worked out that for me there is a different colour application theory which works for me and which does tie in with Olive Pixley's ascension exercises and the work of Daskalos and others. Now, the chakra work, what I've been doing is, and this was sort of, I guess, the basic meditation I wanted to share, because it occurred to me as I was walking around meditating upon it today, that this might be a nice meditation for other people to try, because it's simple. It's simple and it's, I believe, effective and prayerful as well, and involves this colour therapy. Also, the I Am prayer, which some of you may know from reading Valentin Tomberg, that he has an I Am prayer that he applies to the different chakras, which we're going to learn in a moment. And I also have a bit of a innovation or surprise, something different to share with you, because whilst it's commonly, the 7 chakras are commonly spoke of, it's actually my understanding that there are at least 8 in the centre of the body. You might say others if you include your hands and other centres, but let's stick with the 8 for now, and I'll explain those as I go through. I won't so much do the meditation, I'll share with you how I do it. So, and you can, one variation of it, because you could start at the top, you could start at the bottom, but let's start at the root chakra, which is the Muladhara at the base of the spine, the 4-petaled lotus, 4-leafed clover. I envisage it as, because for me this chakra is green. Malkuth, the green of the earth, fresh green, with which I associate the clause, I am the true vine. So I will envisage this green four-leafed lotus, clover type flower actually emanating its green ray out through the lymphatic system. There's a lymphatic basin in the groin area, and also the tops of the thighs, which go down into the knees, also upwards into the stomach area, and then up through the neck and the armpits. And I envisage this true vine, this green, fresh colour being emanated throughout the lymphatic system in the body. From this green, there's a natural progression in rainbow terms to the next chakra, the sacral, the Svadhisthana, which is just below the navel, and this is has 6 petals, like the seal of Solomon. In terms of the tree of life, this would be Yesod, and with this I position the clause, I am the way, the truth and life, in this very important sacral centre. And this wonderful azure healing blue is also reflected in the glands of the body, the glandular system. And those who know Olive Pix's exercises will recognise that blue, she does have many exercises which use this colour of blue, and also a deeper hyacinth blue and various shades of blue around the sacral position. It's cooling and purifying. Moving upwards as the blue deepens, we go through a peacock blue. You may know the peacock light, Olive Pix's work, until we get to the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, the 10-petaled lotus, the will center, the entrance to the Merkava. And so because of this, the clause I would use with this chakra is, I am the door. Now then, this is where my 8th chakra comes in, and this one, people may have heard me mention it before, is known as the Hrit, H-R-I-T, the Hrit center. It's the 8-petaled lotus. It's the secret heart chakra. It comes above the door. And the clause here, it's kind of on the right of the chest, is I am the key. And this chakra is pink and with some gold in it. 8 petals. I am the key, the secret heart's chakra, Hrit. Now once that key has been used to open the door to the upper levels, we are in the heart centre, Anahata, the 12-petaled lotus, the holy palace at the centre of the Merkava, the merging of the sacred fire with holy water, Shin with Mem. It's the entrance to the upper trinity in the veiled sphere of Da'ath. This is the heart, this is rose red. And the prayer here is, I am the bread of life. Now from the heart, we go to the throat chakra, and you may have seen we're still in a rainbow order, but placed differently on the body. So the throat, the Vishuddha chakra, the 16th petaled lotus, is orange. It's close to the seat of the covenant that God makes with humanity, close to the hidden veiled sphere of the earth, which is between it and the heart. Because we're going up the middle pillar, the Sushumna Nadi, the tree of life. And this is orange, 16 petal lotus. I am the Good Shepherd. Therefore, we then get to the Ajna, third eye, the two-petaled lotus, Ajna. And this is bright yellow. Brighter than gold even, or the brightest of gold. And the clause here is, I am the light of the world. That's the two-petaled lotus. I am the light of the world. And then that leaves us with the crown chakra, which is ultraviolet, as it is the other way around. The Sahasara, the 1,000-petaled lotus, and the crowning of the whole procedure. And the clause here is, I am the resurrection and the life. So I find that this is a really nice flowing prayer and really refreshing. Now I've mentioned that the lower two chakras I'm associating with the lymphatic system and the glandular system. The heart is the heart. I haven't necessarily thought further about which other parts of the body go with which chakra. I was going to do that, but then I thought I'm going to just make the video, and I'll if I develop it, I can always give an update about how I think this relates to the ascension exercises. And one other thing perhaps I just want to throw in there, given that we did have parts of the tree of life on here. I think we got through Malkuth, Yesod, obviously the heart centre in Tiphereth, Da'ath, further up, and then Kita will be the crown. And we also had the fiery water, the Shin and the Mem. The Shin being at the bottom of the middle pillar, Mem in the central part, and actually it becomes Aleph as it goes up through Da'ath. But we should also remember that according to the gates of light, the Shah aura, the letter Vow runs through the middle, the whole way through the middle pillar, and actually the appearance of the letter Vow is of that nervous system, with its base, the head of the Vow being up here or at the base of the head, and then the stem of the Vow going through the body. And the idea is that this letter Vow, it's a connector, which in this case on the tree is connecting the body of the Messiah, the people of the Messiah, with the Godhead through Da'ath. The people and the created are connected to the Creator through Da'ath. Severance from Da'ath is severance from the Creator. So this letter, this connecting letter of Vow in the Sushumna, in the middle pillar, is really important just to have in consciousness, perhaps. We don't necessarily have to be Hebrew scholars, but just to be aware that we are connected through Da'ath to the Godhead on the tree of life. And we can easily visualise Vow as being like the spinal column. So that's quite straightforward to visualize. Other than that, I'm fine, as you can see. Didn't want to alarm anybody at the beginning. But yeah, all's good here. It's I'm going to sign off now, and thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.